Hello and welcome back to Blue Box. This is episode 2 of this beautiful, adorable, sweet show. This amazing romance that I can't wait to jump back into. I'm saying all of these things because I know that it's amazing. I'm a fan of the series. And episode 2, I'm hoping is going to keep up that quality of episode 1. Episode 1's quality, like the animation quality and the just the vibe, the whole atmosphere of the show was magnificent. Exactly what I want out of a show like this. So I'm just immensely excited. I'm excited to see more Chinatsu content. You're just gonna see me gushing, you know? Like, if you want to see me hyped, you can watch my Blue Lock reactions. If you want to see me shocked and you know, confused, you can watch my ReZero or my Dun reactions. If you want to just see me just happy, watch these ones. That's what you know, there's a little bit for everyone. So yeah, this is a good season right now for getting a good variety of stuff. But yeah, we're gonna be watching some more Blue Box. Make sure, please, I'm a small channel, so if you like my vibe, if you like this video at all, make sure to support the video, liking the video, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel. That stuff helps me out a lot. And you can go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction, early access, exclusive videos, lots of other great stuff like that. And I have a One Piece channel called Jent Watches One Piece. So if you're a big fan of One Piece, you'll be a big fan of that channel. Go see it. Anyway, here we go. This is Blue Box episode 2. Taiki's still shocked. Oh yeah. I'm just like on a permanent date with her. Let me really take in this OP. I love my second watch of OPs because I really take in the song properly and everything properly. I love that little basketball animation and this badminton one. Oh, the badminton looks gorgeous. I really hope they go all out for those bits. Like, that's awesome. That looked incredible. Oh, my heart's so full. Oh, cute image. Do you want to join me? I know you just had one. Oh my gosh. She's so close. She's like, is the new Blue Box in there? Oh, she's so cute. It makes it easier. You've created a safe space for her. This is good. That's progress, my man. And you feel guilty for taking advantage of that situation, like by being excited by it, kind of. I don't think you should feel bad about, you know, your feelings. As long as you're not acting on anything, so it's fine. Oh, oh, her crossover is great. Zoom out. That's pretty good, this animation. But you can keep training. Yep, like he said in the first episode. You gotta try. Hey, getting his stamina up. He's hardworking. Use positive adjectives. Push-ups? Oh, kind of. I don't know what they're called, but he's doing them. Oh, don't make it look suspicious. Just show her that it's badminton.
いつも体育館で見てるし。
Oh, that's so cute.
もっと早く一歩目が出ないとショットの正確性も落ちる。
See how he gets less flustered when he's actually talking about the sport? Once he's focused.
あ、いや、今のはしても結果が出るまで先輩には言うつ
Oh,
もり
it's okay. She's a fellow athlete. She gets it.
言ったね。じゃあ行かないの？私にはあんな風に言っておいて。
インターハイ行ってください。
Yeah. You challenged
行き
me.
ます行きますよ。
A little chibi version.
よ
So
かったら
fun.
もし趣味じゃないとか。
いただきます。
Aw.
先輩一生大事にしなければ。
それじゃ血止まっちゃうよ。
Yeah, don't pull it super tight.
インターハイ行ってください。
Mhm.
ほら、お揃い
She's got a matching one. Cute.
切にしちゃダメだよ。おやすみ。
頑張れ
Man,
って思うけど
you two have so much chemistry already.
腹筋30回しよ
And he's still wearing it. Gonna keep it
もう
on.
行くの？
う。少しでも練習したいし。
行ってらっしゃい。
That's like a wife seeing off her husband scenario right there. Yep. That's how that scene was framed for sure.
さては、あのジョバスの先輩となんかあったな。
Kinda.
当たった？スマホのロック番号特定した？
Find out her phone password.
まずい。
You think that's what he's thinking about?
絶対面倒なことになる。
ある一人の男の声。
あいつだ。なんとか隠し通さないと。
Hard being friends with a gossip queen.
家に財布忘れて。
どうしたと思ったんだ。拾ってくれてありがとうございます。
Just scream in her face. Wow!
今の俺、感じ
Well,
悪い。
yeah, you screamed at her.
こいつ。
ほんとそういうところ下手だな。
I'll say.
隠したいってことは私と同居するの嫌なのかなとか。
It sounds like Suki's voice actor from Haikyuu. Is it? I need to look it up later.
白客なのに。
君たち来週の入学式で使うからさ。
俺らも
Do it yourself, old man.
聞いちゃいねえ。
ああ、君たちも。
先輩と関わるのが嫌だなんて勘違いされたくないし。
Yeah, you wanna apologize for screaming in her face?
思ったより怒ってらっしゃる。まさかあれで嫌われるなんてことは。面白い。
先輩って彼氏とかいるんですか？
バカ
いないよ。
初対面の先輩に聞く質問か。
I mean, yeah,
身体操部だから。
そういう
it's much easier for a girl to ask another girl
な
that.
いんですか？遊びに行ったり。
Oh, karaoke.
今は部活で精一杯だから。
Yeah, makes sense.
自分でぶっこんどいて気ま
Yeah,
そう言われることくらい分かってた
he
し。
knows her well enough.
湯浅監督が褒めてたぞ。最近羽に重みが出てきたって。
本当
I
で
feel
す
like
か？
Taiki's like a dream, a coach's
高校でも
dream.
戦える体になっ
聞きましたか先輩。戻るの早い。
俺は思ったよりお似合いかもしれないって思ったけど。
Yeah, they have so much chemistry.
なんなら自慢して回りたいのに。
Oh, she okay? I
心
mean,
配そうだな。
as someone who plays basketball, you fall over all the time in basketball, so it's fine.
意地悪い。
I played basketball today. I think I fell over 4 times. It happens.
知らない人のふり
Mm.
するんじゃなか
She
っ
was
た。
playing along.
それで。
え、理由ってそれ？
それ以外に何が？
あの新体操部の子のこと好きだった
Aww.
はい。
だってあの子の前で他人のふりしだしたし。
Makes sense. Hina was always around then.
彼氏探り入れられてるのかなとか。
I love this
好
conversation
き
they're
な人
having
に
though.
同居のことが
And I'll talk about it in the
わか
discussion.
るから
俺とヒナに気を使って。やべ、可愛すぎる。先輩バカでしょ。
な
I love her expressions. Oh, they're so cute.
笑いすぎ。
すみません。
It's such cute. Oh man, they're doing Chinatsu so well.
少なくともこの前県3位だった2年の
Whoa, Haru's hair is
逆に言えば
hotter than I thought it would be.
ちなみに今までの戦績は
聞くな
Haru in general in the anime version looks very
高校
attractive.
入学組の部活見学ね残りの人のお目当ては
蝶のさ素晴らしいわワンダフルビューティフルバガブの星
ものって感じだよね観覧料2000
払えるか
特別な視線
送ってないし
She's got like top tier banter.
わかる店出したらしくて
ああそれ俺ん家の近く
Don't come too close to my place.
もしひなに千夏先輩が
Yeah.
家の時に入ってくところを
Stop getting distracted, woman! Grab her by the collar and drag her away.
誰もわからないやつやめろこれだから早生まれ B 型末っ子はまあでも
美味しそう
Yeah, why wouldn't she?
粒も
Why wouldn't she stop and
おごってやるから
not just rush
絶対
home?
に
1日の摂取カロリーオーバーしちゃうもん
Yeah.
糖質が
Don't encourage her to break her diet.
いつもそんなこと考えてんの
当然でしょ
Yeah, I mean, she's a really good gymnast.
それを戻すためだけにトレ
I
ーニング
imagine being a gymnast, you have to be the most careful about your form.
我慢して済むなら我慢しないと何その
それを頑張りと思わないって普段から自分に厳しい証拠
Yeah. That's true. It's all a form of hard work.
その中で戦ってるヒナはやっぱりめちゃくちゃかっこいいなって
急におセンチになって
やめろ人もう二度と言わん
He expected her to like have a, you know, a sassy
先
comeback.
輩の方が金の花の千夏先輩に果敢に話しかけて
She's not out of his league. Look how good a guy
お
he
しにで
is.
きることがあれば何でもおっしゃってください兄貴
まずそれに協力したところで何の得もない
Jumping from colored square to colored
そうだ
square.
けど
So
しか
relatable.
しですね親友としては勝利をつかんでほしいんだよね
She's assigned herself as
どうした一人
her
で
your bestie.
なんだ
ストップ
Chinatsu's coming
千夏
and talking with Haru. That was 20 minutes? I don't want to watch Migration! These are cute images. Hi, this is not gonna be the discussion anymore. This is gonna be the gushing. Oh my god, what a weird. I'm trying to say I'm gonna be gushing about the show. So it's a disgushing? I don't know if that sounds good or gross. I think it sounds gross. Disgushing. Anyway, I'm gonna be gushing about this show now because I'm so ecstatic and excited and yeah. So I mean, if you've seen my my first episode reaction and stuff, I talked about how, you know, I read the manga of this. I'm a big fan of Blue Box, right? So I'm just gonna be talking about like the stuff that I see in this episode that I really love about the series and that's really coming through. And I think the studio is doing a great job with this. I mean, this is honestly like this is a fantastic adaptation so far. I'm really enjoying the way that they're adapting this. And I didn't expect this higher quality of adaptation for this show. I really didn't. I had my expectations very low. Because I just assumed that, like, you know, it's a popular series, but I didn't think it was going to be like the sort of thing that got a lot of love, you know? Especially since it's like mostly romance anime, you know, partly sport anime, but mostly romance anime. And that I feel like that, you know, romance anime can get great adaptations and stuff, but I feel like it's much more likely that, you know, the big action series will get those good adaptations. But yeah, no, this is beautiful. I'm really liking this so far. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about is like one of my favorite things about Blue Box, and I think it showed it quite nicely in this episode, is the communication between characters in Blue Box is like really good, especially compared to a lot of anime and a lot of romance type media. And by communication, I'm not saying dialogue. I'm not using a weird word for dialogue. I'm saying like specifically the way the characters communicate with each other is like very refreshing and mature. Like, I'm not saying there's no immaturity, and I'm not saying there's no miscommunications. There are definitely miscommunications, and there's definitely some, you know, immaturity. I mean, Hina's a character. She's she's very immature, right? There's definitely a lot of that. But I feel like part of having Chinatsu and Taiki be the protagonists, like, I love them as protagonists, and this is gonna sound conflicting, but I love them as protagonists because they're both kind of boring, right? But that's not a bad thing in the slightest in this, because it's not like, it doesn't mean make the show boring, because you have characters like Hina who are more active, and they and so you have like the more anime-ish characters and someone like Hina that are going to bring up the like entertainment value of scenes. But really, when it comes down to it, both Taiki and Chinatsu are like normal good people, it feels like. You know, they, even though they're both kind of like idealized versions of people, you know, like, even though they're both obviously like someone's dream person, like I think Chinatsu is as much a dream girl as Taiki is a dream guy. But even though they're both like very idealized, they still to me feel like just people, just straight up people, in ways that like I don't think like Kaguya from Kaguya-sama and Shirogane, like I don't think they feel like people in the same way, you know, like there's definitely realistic parts of them, and the character work on them is immaculate and brings out their character flaws and stuff, but they're still characters, it feels like, you know, and that's part of it. I mean, Kaguya-sama was an extreme example because that's a very heightened show. All the characters are super heightened. This show is not heightened. This series is very sort of low-key, and so having our main character be someone who is a hardworking, good, friendly guy who has realistic desires, and he does get flustered, but like an understandable amount of flustered, you know, like he doesn't absolutely freak out. He doesn't get Rent-A-Girlfriend Kazuya, right? That's his name. Levels of flustered and weird and creepy, you know? He's like a normal level of like a guy who, you know, doesn't talk a lot with girls maybe, and who's around his crush. Like it's absolutely a normal level of getting flustered. And same with Chinatsu. She is like a reasonably intelligent, extremely hardworking and talented woman who is like thoughtful and kind. But something that I love, and I've said in a lot of shows before, if you have followed my reactions, something that I get drawn to in a lot of shows, in a lot of animation, is if the animation can make characters look very expressive, that is something I get very drawn to, right? So if their expressions to me, and I can't exactly identify what it is about expressions when I do love them generally, but I just know if I look at them and I feel emotionally attached from the look on their face, then I really like it, you know? And I feel like Legend of Korra is like an example of like Korra as a character to me was very expressive, and there was a lot of her expressions that I just absolutely adored. And like, you know, that sort of stuff I didn't even feel that as much in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where obviously I love both of those shows so very much. I don't even compare them. I don't choose which one I like more or which season is better than what season or whatever. But I love both Avatar and Legend of Korra. But I will say that the expressiveness of Korra in Legend of Korra is something I didn't get that much of in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I don't know why. I'm just telling you how I felt about it, you know. And then there's stuff like Bang Dream and D4DJ, which are like 3D anime, right? But they do the expressions on them extremely well. Like they actually use the 3D to make all the characters more expressive, and it works really, really beautifully. There's a lot of, I could go on and on and on about examples, right? But here's the thing, okay? Expressiveness doesn't mean huge expressions to me. It just means I can, like, I don't know, I'm seeing something in the expression that draws me in. So Chinatsu is something that this is something I really loved in the manga and I'm really loving in the anime so far. She's not that expressive, right? Like, to me, she's gorgeous. She's got like a really cute smile, right? But she's really not that expressive in her face and kind of in her voice, it sounds like. Where it's like she has kind of, her modes are like flat face and small smile, you know? And that's kind of the range that she works in. She will go from flat face to small smile to flat face to small smile, you know? And she'll be on flat face for a bit longer, you know? And it's like polite. It's not like resting bitch face, but it's like a polite flat face. I know this is a weird tangent, but look, you're here. If you're still in this discussion, you're gonna just hear me gush about this stuff, right? So what I love about that is, to me, it makes Chinatsu feel a lot more real. Girls that I have had a crush on in real life, girls that I have liked in some form or another in real life, I like, you know, that a lot of the times I have also liked when they're like not super expressive. I mean, not every person that I've liked has been super expressive. There have been a lot of people who I really like who don't have much, they don't have much expressiveness to their everyday life, you know? And then, you know, if they do get super expressive, there's like there's something special about that as well. But, you know, not everyone is like, I feel like I'm a pretty expressive person, at least when I'm out with friends and when I'm doing these videos. I'm a pretty expressive person. I don't think I'm majorly expressive, but I'm pretty expressive. And I do a lot of expression in my voice, the way that I speak, but that's because I've had theater training and stuff. Most people have not had theater training, have not had acting training. They haven't learned ways in which to use their face and their voice to engage people, right? Most people are just people. Most people just live their lives like normal because they don't need to do that. Why would they need to do that? And that's the vibe I get from Chinatsu. She's living her life. She is who she is, unabashedly. And I saw that, I'm bringing all this up because I saw that in the conversation they had. And this is like building directly off of like the honesty in this show. Like they had that honest conversation about like why exactly he doesn't want to tell them about whatever, right? And like here, look. I'm gonna show you some of her expressions in this scene, right? This is what I really liked, okay? They were having this conversation, and most of the time, she had, like, look, she's pouting a little bit, right? You know, pouting a little bit. This is the most shocked she gets. This is the most expressive that she gets. And it's really not that expressive. But when I say that I love expressions in anime, I'm not saying I want them to be the most expression they can be. I'm saying I want to feel something looking at this expression. I love this expression because what I feel looking at it is like this feels like a real character. This feels like it's really well drawn because this is how a low-key person is incredibly surprised, you know? This is the surprised Pikachu face for her. And then it keeps going back to pouting a little bit, you know? And then just thinking, but still didn't do it much. But also, when Taiki is like laughing at her and stuff, she gets like, she's like a little grumpy with but look at, like, this expression was my favorite one, honestly. I know it's a really weird expression to be my favorite, but like this like blank stare at him where she's a little bit, you know, she's like playfully angry with him, and it's just like, I feel like in a lot of anime what you would draw for that character is them going, you know, like them really pouting, or they would be happier, you know, like they would be like, hey, stop, you're laughing too much. So like it's either smiling to show that she's being playful or pouting to show that she's grumpy. But they go right in the middle. They just go, she's got a flat face, but we know she's being playfully grumpy from what she's saying, you know, like we get it from the context of the scene, how it's working, but she's not showing that as much on her face. And I think that works so nicely for her character. How long did I just talk about that? Like 6-7 minutes? I don't know. Too long, for sure. But I want to gush about a series that I love and one of my favorite characters and why I like her. I always try to just get across any sort of... like, a big reason that I do these videos and have these discussions is I want to be able to articulate why I feel happy sometimes watching stuff. So if the better I can articulate it, the happier I am, honestly. So throughout this channel, I'm constantly trying to articulate things that I feel without knowing exactly why I feel them. And it's up to you guys on whether I'm successful or not. You could say, like, I had no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't know anything about what you're talking about. But you could also say, hey, I get it, you know? That makes a lot of sense to me. So the next thing is I wanted to look up the voice actor of... Is his name Kyo? Man, I can't really remember his name. Let me look. Blue Box... Oops, I clicked on the manga. No. Anime. Blue Box Anime. His name is Kyo. Yep, I was correct. And it's Chiaki Kobayashi, who is... Oh, he's Stark in Frieren. That might be what I'm thinking of then. Because, yeah, I think that's it. He's Stark in Frieren. That makes sense. Because I was listening to him, and he had like a... He had a tone that I was very familiar with. He's also Gabimaru in Hell's Paradise as well, which I did reactions to on this channel. He's also Mash and Masher, which I only did like 2 episodes of on this channel. I did enjoy it. Maybe one day I'll go back to it. But it didn't get many views. Yeah, anyway. While he was talking in this episode, I was like listening to him speak, and I was like, he sounds very familiar, and he's doing like whatever I know him from. He also does he talks like this and talks very simple kind of voice, you know, like he speaks at the same tone at all times. And I was like, okay, so I recognize that same tone. Why do I recognize it? Frieren, it makes a lot of sense. Stark kind of talks like that because in Frieren they're very low key. So very cool, great. I like that. And final thing I want to talk about is I like that, like, with Taiki as a character, like, early in the episode, he is having, like, he's going through the rom-com feelings of, like, oh my gosh, there's a girl in my house, and oh, she just took a bath, and I might be going into the same bath that she went into, and all that sort of stuff. And then she comes into the room, you know, sits next to him, asks to borrow a jump, and then after that, she, like, confides in him and says, like, you know, it's normally like a really scary thing to go into a stranger's house and to live there and to be away from my family. And I've only talked to your parents a few times, like they're nice people, but I don't really know them. It's really relieving for me that I'm in a comfortable place because you're here and I know you. I've been in the gym with you a lot, and like it's a more familiar environment for me. And also you're like, we have the similar interests. We're both into Shonen Jump manga and stuff. So at least we can bond over that a little bit. Like, she comes in with a very, very reasonable emotional connection, right? And she's not trying to guilt him or anything. Her intention with that is like to thank him for being there and to just like, I think, get that off her chest, because being in an unfamiliar environment, I think, like, that relief she wants to tell someone. So she tells that to him, and then he starts to feel guilty. And I like this aspect of Taiki's character where he's feeling guilty because he's thinking of her as like, oh, she's my crush, you know, like that's in his mind, she has been assigned the crush role. But then she comes in and has a very human moment with him. And so it almost makes it like, oh, me being weird about the fact that she's here and, you know, thinking about like, oh, there's a girl here and she's so close to me and oh, all of that, you know, is that wrong for me to be thinking that sort of stuff when, like, for her, this is something that, like, this is a hard time in her life and this is relieving. Am I, like, in thinking all of this stuff, is it possible that I'm overstepping some sort of boundaries? I'm, like, making this safe space for her less safe. I think the answer to all those questions is no. I don't think he's doing that. Like, if you feel like, you know, if you're in some way infatuated with someone, it's not your fault for feeling that way. Like, you're not at fault because you like a person. So, and like, if that's on his mind, it's on his mind. Like, that's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. But I do think it's very respectful of him to think about that stuff. Like, that's, I feel like, and I don't know because I'm not in everyone's mind, but I feel like most people don't think like that. I think I'm like half there, but I'm not as good as Taiki with that. Like, you know, I like to think I'm considerate of people, and I like to think I try to be respectful, even if I were to like someone that I wouldn't, like, that I don't overstep any bounds or anything, right? But I don't know if I go as far as Taiki is, like, feeling guilty about that. But I do like that he thinks that way. So I think that's a sign to me of, like, a really good protagonist and a really good guy and a really good character. Is he thinks about this stuff and he goes over it in his head, and it's not like, I don't think the show's shaming him for it. But he does something very, very normal, but he feels a little bit guilty about it. And he just, I think, tries to adjust his behavior. Like, he speaks to her a little bit more normally later. And even when talking about badminton with her, when they do the promise band thing around their ankles, like, he is speaking very seriously about badminton and, like, properly engaging her in a conversation rather than just having this ideal version of her in his head that he's just, like, being flustered over, you know? Anyway, I think it's all very nice. You see how much I can fucking yap about this show? When I really, really love something like this, I might just talk about it forever, you know? But I'm gonna stop. That was Blue Box episode 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. You can go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos, and you can go to my One Piece channel, Jent Watches One Piece, if you like One Piece. And you want to hear me yap about that. I yap my head off when I'm talking about One Piece. Go over and check that out. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.